All right. We're going to try the Mishnah again. Vav Ches. Metayines hamikvos. Va'elyon min atachton arochok min hakorov. We have two mikvos, and we'll see shortly in the Rosh that there's a discussion whether we're talking about shouv that we want to be machshir, or we're talking about choser that we want to be mashlim. What we're talking about over here. Arochok min hakorov, which we had difficulty with last week. A close one from a far away one. Elya min atachton, arochok min hakorov, ketzad, maybe silon shel cheres, shel aver, and you make a pipe connecting the two. We discussed this like this U pipe coming down, and you put your hand underneath it until it becomes filled with water. Ache mismala mayim umoshcho mashikoi, and you connect them. Va'afilu kesaira, and over here it's enough only a saira v'dayot. Hoya va'elyon aboim sa ubetachtom ein klum. If you have the top one has aboim sa and the bottom one is an empty pit, and you want to use it as a mikveh, the malabakosef and nice in the elyon, you put into the top one and it goes into the bottom one. Until it goes down to aboim so. Now, we discussed the end of the Mishnah. I really want to just finish off the end of the Mishnah. We discussed last week this idea of what do we do nowadays in all of our mikvos that are mikvos of Zriya, which means that the top hole when you're standing in the mikveh, you look and there are two holes. There's one on where the tiles are a different color, and there's one about 15 centimeters higher. And actually, I would just tell you that this week I was in the mikveh, and this happens. I see this about once every 2 years. This strange happened that they overfilled the mikveh, and the water was almost up to the top hole, and if you're going to dunk, so it's questionable whether you're going to be pushing water out through that hole, and that gets to the question I was speaking about that I had to deal with in Chutz La'aretz. It just happened to me actually last week. Yeah. Anyways, so the Chazon Ish, we discussed this problem. When you're pouring in water and the water is going out, so you have a she'uvim problem, and how do we overcome that issue, right? So we drew this map. Yeah, you people see that? Hello? Yeah, is that understood?
Yes, we see it. Yes, we see it.
Okay, so it's going out. The water is going out on the side over here, but the water is going in a pipe that it can go in until here. So this is below Memsa. This is below the
exit, but it's Memsa.
It's below the exit, but above Memsa. So the water that's going out is water that was already kosherized. I guess that's the word we'll use right now. And this is questionable if it works or not. Big machlokes haposkim. Most poskim say that it works, and the reason that they say that it works is because she'uvim is nitar b'zoichlin. Why is she'uvim nitar b'zoichlin? It's really beyond me. I don't really know why that should be. I mean, if you tell me it's not nitar b'zoichlin, it's fine. It is nitar b'zoichlin. I don't know why. If it has to become mikveh water, why shouldn't it have to be stagnant? I don't know. But I'm going to read to you the Chazon Ish on his losing all my papers over here. His discussion on this Mishnah, what he has in one place. He has 2 or 3 places he discusses it. Where did we go? This is the wrong Chazon Ish. I need the Chazon Ish here.
I don't understand what the problem is there.
What? Why don't you understand the problem?
You're putting water in the mikveh with 40 sa. So where's the problem?
Because at the same time that you're putting it in, it's going out.
Okay.
So that means the water is running.
The water that's going out is running.
The body of water is a body of water that's in motion.
Right, but it's not shuvim.
No, but you want to make the water that's going into the water's going in is shuvim. You want to make them into not shuvim, into ashbarim, right?
Once it goes into a kosher mikveh, it's not shuvim.
Whoa.
Or 40 sa, it's not shuvim.
Whoa. Is there such a thing as a kosher mikveh of 40 saw that's moving?
But you said it's under where it's moving, it's 40 sa.
Okay, that was the pitaron. Let's say it would go onto the top. On the top of the water. So in other words, it's going into the top, exactly the level.
If you would be tovel in that mikveh, are you yotze?
Machlokes.
Why is that machlokes?
Why is that a machlokes?
In the top mikveh.
That's a philosophical question. What?
No, what is the machlokes about? There's 40 sa under the hole.
Okay. 1 second. I have over here my Shulchan Aruch. Today we're inside, so it's much easier as far as that's concerned because I have all my svarim over here. No big deal. If Lev Seltzer is there, he could probably create for us the Sif and Shulchan Aruch. We'll get it 1 second. I don't know. Siman Nun. For anybody who has that, Peretz, you could do that? You can do that for us?
Wait. Shulchan Aruch with Yoredeya?
Yoredeya, Reish Aleph, Nun.
Reish Aleph. We'll see if I can get it.
I could hold my page up.
Mikvah shel megashamim.
Yeah, that's good. You're doing fine. Could you put that on the screen?
We can put it on.
Yechiel, you know how to do this too? Okay, where are we? Whoa. Oh, okay, fine. Okay. That's not good for people like me. How are you supposed to read that? But anyways, okay, fine, it's fine. Okay, mikvah shomei geshamim shenifrat zech mikasolav v'amayim yotzim derech hasedek. So in nishabo memsa achar sheyotzok soisom sha'ar hasedek, if the crack is above the memsa line, kosher. V'im lav posel mishum davlei zoichlin ve'mikvah v'tar b'zoichlin. Says the Rambam. V'yesh machmirim. Afilu im yisharu memsa ad hasedek. V'yesh lochush l'devreim v'chatchila listem hasedek. V'chol ze dafka mikvah she'ein boy mimayin. Avul bo mimayin, then there's no problem.
Wait, so if you have a mikvah that's holds exactly 40 sa.
Yeah.
That means if you put more water in it, according to Rama, it wouldn't be good because it's overflowing?
That's a different question. Well, first of all,
why is that different?
What's that? Second. Okay, let's gonna read the Chazon Ish. I know you're saying that there's. In other words, when you're gonna every drop you're gonna put in is gonna cause another drop to go out. That's what you meant to say.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now we're going to do that right now. Here we go. Nicholas, Kama, Gimel, Beis. Let's see. Just 1 second. We'll do this for you, Peretz. Okay, Peretz.
Yeah.
B'schus of this shir, you just got an email. If you can put it up on the thing. I just sent you that Chazon Ish so everybody could see it. We'll do it all at once. You get it?
I did not get it yet.
Maybe I didn't send it to the right place. Tough. Okay. Anyways, all right. I'll read the Chazon Ish.
Where is it?
Chazon Ish, Perek Mikvois, Siman Gimel Kama. That's in Tyrus. The Chazon Ish Tyrus. I don't think this Chazon Ish on like a computer.
I don't know. I don't know if I have it. We do have one here, but where would it be in it?
Chazon Ish Tyrus.
Yeah.
It's called Mikvois Kama.
Any idea what daf it is?
Yeah, I can tell you what daf it is. Daf Kuf Ayin Gimel on the base. You have it? You have a Chazon Ish?
Wait, this is getting me to Alos. I have it, but it's like an old one.
You didn't get? You can check your email again. You still didn't get that email?
Wait, Mikvos, which Simon?
Siman Gimel Kama. There's Tanyan and Kama. All right, I'll just read it over here.
I find it.
Just check see if you get that email. I sent it to you in an email. Okay. This is going on our mission exactly. Mikan muchach gamke kepirish harash reisha demasnisin that shuuvim mistarim bezoichlin that shuuvim could be tar bezoichlin diloikein kishashayfech leelyain when you pour into the top mikvah in order that it should overspill into the bottom mikvah bezman shubale hein zoichlin those waters which you are attaching. They're attaching to waters that are zoichlim ve'enom chibul mikvah. V'havi keshoyfech ala oretz v'yara teich mikvah because that mikvah has no status as a body of water. It's a beautiful poetic way of saying it. It's like you spilled it onto the ground. V'latana demasnisim perek dalid ve'inan ruba b'amshocha v'chol mikvah kul yam be'inan ruba v'hecha machshir v'chol mikvah. And how could that be? Elahainu taima the shuvim mitayim bezoichlin. Shuvim become tor bezoichlin, but that's a vada pasha to the Chazon Ish that this water is called zoichlin. No, that's not up for a discussion. And here we get to the reason why I'm doing this. By the way, parents, you still didn't get it? That email?
I'm on Simon Gimel. There's a lot of sif cuttings in there.
Bays.
Okay.
You didn't ask me.
Okay, it's here.
Okay, right. Now go down about 4. It's actually too far. The Ein Loimar. Okay, go down. Okay. The Ein Loimar. The Hocha Hainu Taima, the Ayim Shoyefech Bezam. You're pouring it in with force. The Anu Betuchim, and we're certain the Roiv HaShu'uvim Yordim Lifnim, the force that it's going into Niagara Falls, they go under the height of the hole that it's going out of. The Deichen es meha mikvah lechutz, and the mikvah water is what's going out, and the water, our waters are still beseder. The Hacha Mashma av she'en be'elyon rak memsa mitzumtzomim. It's speaking about even if you have exactly memsa, and this is exactly Peretz, this is exactly your question, right? And that would work. In Cain, take it kishayotzin amayim ksherim lachot yifsulu hashuuvim es ha'ayonim. That's a yoina. Elavadai shekvar nitaru b'shuuvim b'mechubar mikvah. Okay, miu yeshtar they call tipa shel shuvim nistayra babol. If them each drop as it comes in becomes kosherized, kodim shenitchu mikvah. Before the mikvah water goes out, av shenasim beis pools b'vasachas, even though it's happening simultaneously, the einam shekvar nitra tipa kodim sheba shuvim givalugim the zainov etc. Okay, but the bottom line is that the Chazon Ish holds over here that the reason why it works is because you can be v'taher b'zaychlin. It's not a problem. Okay, we're finished this Chazon Ish.
Is it because the water becomes batel, kama batel?
No. The Chazon Ish holds the reason why it works is because shuvim can be nistaher b'zaychlin. It's not a problem. The question never starts. It's not. The whole thing doesn't start. It's a toast. The question. That's what the Chazon Ish holds. The others who hold otherwise. The others who say that it is a problem, and that's why the mikvos do where's that picture? I had that picture over here. That has it goes down to, here we go. There are those mikvos that they just have it go down till a drop lower than this. And there are those mikvos that have it go down. This is much bigger. And they have it that there's 40 saw on top of it. It goes all the way down. Goes down into a place that there's 40 saw on top of it, so there's absolutely no problem. And even that's not according to everyone, but that's what's done. All right. Anyway,
So I'm sorry for asking again. I don't understand. Why, when the water hits the top, the water that's coming in, why isn't it become batel as soon as it touches the top water?
because that water is moving. Imagine, let's stop. Sheffer, just stop. Forget about the first second. Not the first drop. It's exactly, level. Now, when you turn on the water, so about 3 seconds later, it starts dripping out and there's water coming in. So the water that's dripping out after that first drop, it's touching waters that have a halacha of being moving waters.
Before it begins to move, it's batel.
Let's say you're right. Before we get, even I'm not right now going to argue that it doesn't make a difference, but that's not going to help for the other 39 mugin.
How's it moving water?
Batel it will. Each drop as it comes.
No, it's not a question of bottle. Now, right now, that water is touching moving waters.
Okay.
How-
No. Don't do me a favor. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. It's a hard concept to me. It's kama batel should work even the water is moving. But you're saying it doesn't work.
Kama bottle will only mean, kama bottle will only mean to say that it gets the din like the other waters. But if those other waters are moving waters, they're not mikveh waters.
Okay.
Why is it moving water before it gets into the pipe? Why is it called moving waters before that? I go in the mikveh, the water is moving as soon as I go in.
That's not called moving, being that it's in the same.
It's not going anywhere.
Right, so why is it moving before it gets into the pipe? It's still in the mikveh.
Zero.
The moving is afterward.
If the mikveh is moving itself, that's not a problem. It's only when it's going somewhere. So when it's in the pipe, that's when it's going somewhere. When it's in the mikveh, It's not going anywhere.
Right.
So how is it moving water in the mikveh?
I'm pouring in water.
Right?
But by me pouring in water, I'm forcing water out.
Right? But the water, once it goes out, then it's moving water. Why is it moving water when it's in the mikveh?
Okay. Let me ask you a question. I have a bathtub.
Yeah.
Okay. And I pull the plug on the bathtub. Is all the water moving?
It's a hole on the bottom. It's a totally different.
Just answer my question. Is all the water moving?
and it can't even hold water.
Answer my question.
Yes, it's moving. It's all moving. It's
It's all
all moving.
moving, yes.
Okay, so now when you're pouring water into the mikveh, if the top of it is moving, then you're pouring it into moving water.
And if I'm in the mikveh and I splash, is it moving water?
No, because it's staying inside the mikveh.
So it's still in the mikveh till it hits the pipe.
No. It's staying in the mikveh. It's not going anywhere.
I don't know. It might splash and
I
it
do
goes
know.
out.
I do know.
I've seen people splash in the mikveh and the water goes out.
Oh, that's true. That's not a problem because you still have 40 saw inside.
So
That's
it goes
not-
to the pipe. You still have 40 saw inside. Okay.
That's a different question. That's a good question. We discussed that question about 3 prakim ago. Why is it called moving water if it's being forced out by some external force? That's a good question.
Okay.
That's a good question. And there's an answer to that question. There's a question over here. If this is called an external force forcing it out. It's just the water in it is draining. Nobody's forcing it out. It's not like the case of a guy splashing.
The force of the water coming in is pushing it out.
That's not the force. The displacement is pushing it, not
The
the force.
displacement is pushing it out.
It's over full.
Okay.
That's all that's moving naturally out. It's a
When I go
natural
in
process.
When I go in the mikveh, the level of the water goes up.
It goes up, but it stays in the same place.
So even if it would hit the pipe,
If it would hit the pipe and go out, there will be a problem, yes, according to some.
because
According to some. According to others, not, because it's called that you pushed it out.
okay, there's differentiations here which are not so easy to
All right,
see.
all right. So I'm not gonna. I agree. It's not just a simple concept, but that's not really the whole subject of today's shir. Well, let's try to get back to where we're supposed to be. Anyways, I guess we'll leave the end of the Mishnah. That's the end of the Mishnah, which is an important concept.
I would
Let's go
also
back
ask, where do we see, where's the makor for all these things in the later halacha from the Mishnah?
Well, I just read you a Chazon Ish, right?
Right, where did he get it from?
Our Mishnah.
Our Mishnah, that's what our Mishnah is.
She says it's implicit in our Mishnah. The only way our Mishnah
Which
could be
part of the Mishnah?
the Sefer.
Could you explain how he sees it?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Seems to say the opposite in
No, it says Aboim so. Where does it start? Haya ba'alyon Aboim so betachton en klum. Memale ba'kotev, you pour memale ba'kotev means you take on your shoulder a bucket of water, right, and you pour it in. That's what memale ba'kotev means technically. Memale ba'kotev v'noisim la'elyon. Ad sheyerdu latachton, it overspills into the bottom one until the bottom one has it at 40 saw.
yeah, so where do we see from here that it's called moving and it's not good?
Why did it overspill? Why did it spill?
But it says
over?
it's good. It says it's good.
That's right.
And
So
the
Chazon
Chazon Ish says that's
No,
because of what's it called?
Not the problem with the Chazon Ish, the problem with the people who say it's not, it's possible. Where are they getting it from?
Where
That's
they
what I was
getting it from?
asking.
Oh, so they have a whole different hesber in this Mishnah, but they don't get it from this Mishnah. They don't get it from this. They have a hesber to answer this Mishnah, but that's saying a svara pshuta. That's a svara pshuta that if you have a breach in the wall, it's called shuvim. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what your question is. What if you pull the plug in the bathtub? Do I need a raya?
We're not talking about a plug here.
I asked you a question.
If
You
there's a
pull-
hole in the bottom of a mikveh, we have plenty of places that says it's not a good mikveh. Okay.
Why? Right now, I have 40 sub water.
It
staying
can't
all
hold
good.
water because it
But
doesn't
it's
hold
Zohar,
water.
no?
That's the 1 second. You don't. That is 100% wrong. What you said. You
Because
don't
it doesn't
need
hold
a.
water.
You do not read a receptacle that holds water. That's a svarin kalim. A mikveh does not need to hold water. You just need to have 40 saw that's stagnant.
Well, that sounds like by definition it's holding water.
But that's not a halachic necessity.
It's a physical necessity.
It's a physical necessity that could be, But not only that, and that's the question of could be toivel in a gal, which is standing in midair, that there's nothing in it. Could be that's called they're not even called moving, and there's nothing holding it together. But
That's not a problem?
yes, that's a whole discussion which we discussed a little bit that Mishnah. But that's
Okay.
but there you have no kli. That the problem isn't according to the Rogachover, the problem is that if you don't have not a kli, but you have something that gives it definition, you have a problem that it doesn't connect together to be a boy salt. But anyway, actually, if you have a hole on the side, so then that's called the water is moving. That's called that the water is moving. The difference of the plug is on the top or on the bottom or on the side. Whether the water underneath it is called part of the same water that's in motion is a machlekes hapaiskim.
Right, and that's the one where I didn't see how they get it from. Okay.
All right. Anyways, let's go to the Reish of Mishnah because that's where the important stuff is that I wanted, at least from what I would like to discuss tonight. All right. We discussed maybe silon shel cheres shel ever umeniach yod of tachtav achi yismal emayim umoshku mashiko afilu kesayra. You in this case, you put your hand over here and you have this whole thing gets full of water, and then you let it connect into the lower one, and then you have our boy saw kosherized in the bottom one. We're right now learning about we're assuming that the problem over here was a problem of she'uvim. Okay, that's what we said. Now, there's a question. This pipe is not a kli eitz b'pashtus, it's a kli matris, and pshute kli matris are makabel tumah. So we have a question that there's a klal that you have to have havaya al yedei tahira. A mikvah has to be made by tahira. I know, but over here the word is it means it's not told whether it is tahor or tamei before. It's something which is susceptible to tumah or not. It doesn't have to be. Doesn't make a difference whether the pipe is a tamei pipe or a tahor pipe. That's not the subject. It's a non-tameable item. That's nothing like great English, right? It's a non-tameable item. So, and now just to remind you, when we learned Perek Aleph, we learned that could be the whole psul shuvim was a problem of avaya de taira. That's so. This is a question that is discussed in the Rishonim. The Rashba says that's such a good question that the answer is very simple. It has to be that pipe is mechuber l'karka, and according to some, it has to be that it was a pipe that was made to be mechuber l'karka, and therefore it's not makabel tumah. So I say that's a great answer, but it's cheap, right? When I mean to say that it's cheap, it just accepts the question. It just says that.
Why didn't it say it in the Mishnah?
What? It didn't
Why
say
didn't it just say in the Mishnah?
Right? It didn't say it in the Mishnah. So some of the ones who say that pshat will say because it's self-evident, because it's such a great question that has to be the answer, right? Muvan me'elav, as they say in the Rit.
It says
What
maybe.
What does mayvi mean?
Maybe means it's portable.
Right. So it's not mechuba then.
No, and then you attach it.
Mechaber.
You may, and then you are mechaber it, correct?
So that's more important than mayvi, the mechaber.
Okay, all right. I accept it. This is the Rashba's shot on this Mishnah. The Eshkol, the other Vaiskim, they say that it can even be a detached pipe, and it's still not called Avaya Al Yedei Davar Makabel Tumah. Why? Because, and here's the fascinating idea. This is like already a lumdisha kind of a chilik. They say that being that the mikvah, the lower mikvah, is a mikvah. It's just puzzle. You're not creating the pond. You're just kosherizing it. Havaya Yedei Tahira means when you created a mikvah through a davar she'ein makabel tumah. If all you're doing is connecting it, that's not a problem.
So in the Sefer, we're not using a pipe.
The sefer, we're not using a pipe of chal. You're pouring into it and it's going out, right?
And
You don't need
what,
that.
And by the way, what happens to Hamshacha? It makes no difference because
We're
the problem, right? Because the problem is not the what's it called? No,
That's
because
not the problem. Yeah, we're not.
yeah,
We're not.
but the Rav said that because it's Zoichel, so the problem is Zoichel. It has nothing to do with the Hamshacha.
Nothing to do with anything, right? Right. Okay, that's shlav number one. That it could be it's not called Avaya de Davar Kabel Tuma because you're just kosherizing. According to others,
if you have a mikvah with 20 saw, you can fill the rest with a kli. Like that, a kli that's Makabel Tuma or a pipe that's Makabel Tuma.
I'm amazed where did that question come from. I said if you have a full mikvah that just has to be kosher, and you said, what about if you have a half a mikvah? Why? What are we bargaining?
Well, how's it a full mikvah that has to be?
You have 40 saw.
40 saw of shuvim.
Yeah.
Why is that different than 20 saw of not shuvim?
Because one you're creating a mikvah, and one you are koshering a mikvah.
40 saw of shuvim is a mikvah,
It's a puzzle mikvah.
and 20 saw is a puzzle mikvah too.
No. 20 saw is not a mikvah.
Oh, the rice it's a mikvah. Whatever.
20. I will read to you. We'll read the Rosh. This is,
Rabbi Zacharias,
yeah.
on a different night, you would say there's no difference between 20, which is puzzle, and 40, which is puzzle.
Depends agabe what. Depends agabe what. But the Avada, not only that, the Rishonim over here in this Mishnah that says that we're speaking about both too. I happen to be speaking right now in the Rosh. But here we go. Here he asks the question. He has it in the Sefer where it's speaking about that you just have left a klipas hashum. V'nir lefarish the lo ari hacha b'chaser ela b'shalim ela shu shov umashiko lahachsher ulachshiro sagi b'chut asayro v'kilu b'shiva d'rabonon that it's good enough. So that's the way the Rosh learns. The Rosh learns this Mishnah. All right, you know what? I'm going to have to do this Mishnah again next week too. I apologize, but it's a very important Mishnah.